Before the flip, we want to do a little shout out to our friends at Sound Revolution, a record store down in Houston, Texas. They've got actually excellent taste and they're really nice people, so we definitely want to recommend them if you're traveling and getting down there. But up here in Cleveland, we're in full Christmas mode. Got a lot of big hits coming in and out of here. We got the Supremes and many more. Christmas with the Yankovics, and we've got a whole full section of Christmas. And we're really happy to have this in. Hausu from 1977, the cult Japanese film. It was their version of Jaws, but it was a killer house. And the soundtrack is a fascinating amalgamation of prog fusion and psychedelic weirdness, but very, very good, very pleasant to listen to, and definitely recommended. Also, the Oz tapes. This is for collectors of Psych, Le Release de Nude, aka Hakata no Raizu, 2 LP, very limited. Psych rock they're originally from Kyoto, actually, but then they formed in a neighborhood in Tokyo over a tiny little Ekides train station. And they left these tapes. They weren't even around, I don't think, for a full year. They broke up. They formed in 72, broke up sometime in 73, and it's very hard, noisy, cool, psychedelic stuff. Even their song titles and their album titles, there's a number of works put out by them after the fact that are really good. Just very interesting, experimental, and top quality psychedelia. Kind of reminds you of the great band from Japan from the 80s, early 90s called Ghost, also worth looking into. And Northwind, another cool cult classic, soft prog, folk rock. And it was a lost 70s thing. The original is impossibly expensive, but this is a brand new Korean press, done very well with a beautiful textured cover. It doesn't show up on there, but you can feel it and you can see it in person. They've compared them to Help Yourself, who are also known, I believe, as The Helps, and early Wishbone Ash. I also say there's moments of mid-period Pink Floyd, as well as Moody Blues, and even Hawkwind on here. There's just delicate touches of organ, and as well as heavy grinds on the guitar. It's pretty good pastoral pub rock from Scotland. Definitely worth checking out. Listen to them online, and then come get the record because it's great. Lou Reed, Words and Music, 1965. This is from the Lou Reed Archive series. Number 1 is the deluxe edition. It's 2 LP plus a 7-inch, sealed, and an amazing book in here, saddle stitch, die cut, 28-page book, and it feels heavy. It's extremely impressive. First time that there's that 1965 alt version of I'm Waiting for the Man on vinyl. It's 45 RPM. It's got some of the earliest known recordings of some of the best Velvet Underground tracks, and there's just lots more here, and very limited as well. And Karain Singularity, a Deep House EP from 2018, blue transparent and splatter vinyl. You might know her as Lena Raine, R-A-I-N-E. She's an incredible, very talented composer. She does a lot of VGM video game music soundtracks, including Celeste, Guild Wars 2, Minecraft, etc. But here's some of her more experimental, at times pretty deep housey stuff, and it's really nice. I think of it as like drifting pulsed abstracts awash in casements carried by the foam of Fairyland's Forlorn. We've also got some spy jazz here. Prague Philharmonic Orchestra, this is brand new, 2 LP, gold vinyl, limited edition, and numbered. And they definitely don't mess around. So for all your spy jazz and secret agent needs, we're going to definitely keep you spinning. And we got some great stuff from Claudio and the Gang of Goblin, Bio-Omega, Joe D'Amato's Gore Fest from 79. But there's some beautiful artwork here from Randy Oritz, and there's some more on the back there, too. But this is just beautiful stuff, and we definitely have to do shout-outs to AMS Records, Cinevox Records, Death Waltz, and our buddies at Light in the Attic for getting this great stuff and important music out there. We got another one of these Profundo Rossos. They are hard to come by now. Colored orange vinyl, limited edition, 2 LP. And Chiali Neri, Dark Shades, another Argento film and another good 2 LP soundtrack, white vinyl. You don't want to splatter blood on it, but the artwork is beautiful. Beyond the Gates, this came out in 2018, soundtrack, and the color of the vinyl is actually like the color of this, the film poster, this purple with some smoky blue in it, really amazing stuff. And one of my favorite country comps from 63, it's early in the game for what it is, but it's got 6 Days on the Road, Radar Blues, Pinball Machine, Truck Driving Man, Sleeper Cab Blues, and more. Dangerous Curves, Diesel Smoke, Truck Driver Favorites. And we got a promo, minty of Everything But the Girl, some light jazz pop from 86, some psychedelic soundtrack with Spencer Davis Group and Traffic, Summer Love, the Belmonts, some doo-wop there, came out in 1969. Borrowed Angel, Mel Street, came out in 72. Good country LP. Lovin' on Back Streets was one of his big hits, and then he killed himself 6 years later. And we got some Monkees unusual copies of stuff. This one just never comes around. This is from 1969. And I did not write on here Mr. Gasser and the Weirdos, but the original cover is a pretty cool comic drawing thing, and this is the original mono Scranton press from 63, and actually if it were minty it would be at least 5 times as much as that, but this one is actually pretty cheap because it's a player copy, so if you want to hear it, which if you're into surf you do, come get that. And Earl McGrath, the ultimate 70s jet setter. This is a really, really amazing, rich mix of 70s glory and joy. He knew everyone from Andy Warhol to Mick Jagger, Hall & Oates, etc., and he's got a lot of interesting unreleased tracks from Hall & Oates, Ultraviolet, which was Andy Warhol's Superstar, and Jim Carroll and others, as well as he got demo tapes from all kinds of people, and there's a lot of good stuff here. I guess he had just like loads of country, funk, and R&B and AOR demo stuff, so this is the sound of the 70s. And his late wife, she was an Italian countess and a terrific photographer, and the booklet, again, this is pretty heavy, but the booklet is loaded with some of her terrific and incredible photographs. But Terry Allen, Cocaine Cowboy, and the Kazoo Singers, Gun of California, Paul Potash's Holy Commotion, there's a lot of good stuff on here. And Big Brother and the Holding Company from 67, some psychedelic blues, is an Abbey Pressing original U.S. stereo release. And Left Lane Cruiser from 2008, orange transparent vinyl. This is some modern day blues garage stuff. And from a decade ago, some alt country here, white vinyl. And Magnum, this came out in 2021, limited pressing, but it's basically hard rock, and the cover to me is basically Yes with a touch of Saxon, and maybe that even describes the music. And Iggy and the Stooges, really nice. We just got this limited French press splatter vinyl, and it is sealed, and it's recommended, of course. The Schwartz Fox Blues Crusade, this is a slab of Cleveland history here. Came out in 2016, but the recording was 1967, and it was members of what would become the James Gang and Mr. Stress, of course. There's pictures of the Mr. Stress band, and Glenn Schwartz, of course. There he is playing with the James Gang, and all these other Cleveland heroes. I guess you can call this East Side Cleveland sound from the late 60s, legendary, even though they're getting into Stone Temple Pilots. But this is really recommended. The yellow vinyl, if it looks like someone put a few dribs of Sriracha on there, that's just the impurity of American vinyl, but it sounds great, and that's how it is. In the Morning Dew, look up who they became, mono and stereo, early years, Topeka, Kansas, beautiful minty stuff. Dexter Gordon, this was an RSD release a couple years ago, maybe almost a half decade ago, but it's mint, and we got some more mint John Cales back in. Rick Ocasek, this is a promo copy. And People, this is an uncommon psychedelic record from 1970. Pretty interesting, too. Illusion, some hard rock from 85. This is a promo. And Bevis Frond, you got to know them. We got this back. You got to look into Nick Salomon. He was covered by a lot of people who know music, like Dinosaur Jr., Teenage Fan Club, and Mary Lou Lord. So definitely recommended. We also got a limited edition pink vinyl copy of this one, and we got some Alan Parsons Project. This one doesn't come around too often, but this one does, but it's got a little local connection there. It was from the Disc Connection, and these are all mint, of course. And Back in the House, Pacific Breeze, Japanese City Pop, AOR, and Boogie. We've got this double LP comp from 76 to 86, as well as 72 to 86 Part 2, and Part 3 is coming out. It's slated for a February 2023 release, and of course, we'll have a pile of them, so come on out, check this stuff out.